All right, guys, Automotive Inc. here. We are on part 3, okay? So now, the reason I love the plains out here is we have some steep hills that are a couple miles long, just like the Gauntlet. Lots of rolling hills, up, down. We have wind. We have wildlife, 2-lane roads. And some of the roads are kind of rough. A lot of the roads in Colorado are rough. Let's not be kidding here. And so I think it's better than going up that Gauntlet in regards to, yeah, you're going to run into some really steep hills, or even semis with 500-600 horse and 1,200 pounds of torque. You can't go up more than 30 miles an hour. But this is where it's more about, it's not just having the power, it's about braking, stability, trailer sway, and then of course just how the truck overall rides when you're in it. You want to beat you up and everything. So part 3, so go down there in the corner, hit the subscribe button, because there's going to be several parts to this. I'm trying to break them up, so if you need to come back to a specific one, I'll put a description in each one so like, oh, I need to go back to part 3 and watch that again. So he talks about it, because again, you're going to be making some decisions based on reviews and whatnot. But this is a real world one because I own this truck, and I'm going to put it to real world test. Do I care if this truck will do 100 watts towing? I don't. I would never do that. But can it do the speed limit if need be? Sure. Would I recommend going under the speed limit quite a bit? Yeah, absolutely. All right, so here we are. Trans temp is 154 degrees. Speed limit is 65 now. Running about 2,400 RPMs. Again, this is a 373 rear end. This Chevy has a 36-gallon fuel tank. I reset the fuel trip at the beginning of this 60-mile loop, and we will see how that goes from there. Right now, the engine temp is running still absolutely normal. No trailer sway. There is a slight breeze, but not much. We've run around a couple, off-camber curves. The Timbrins really do help with trailer sway. It's like Sumo Springs Timbrins. Timbrins what I always run, but same concept. If you want to spend the money and get bags, you can. But the Timbrins are keeping this truck at level, so I'm good at that. I did not extend the mirrors. The Chevy mirrors are the biggest in the class. I don't need to extend them to see everything in the world with those things. And the convex mirror, I always set those up and then I never move them. So the fact that Ram can adjust those, I could care less. Yeah, these mirrors are exceptional when it comes to towing, but if you want to see even further out, you can stick them out. All right, so we're going up these rolling hills. The transmission's had absolutely zero issues getting through there. And a lot of people say you would take it out at 10 speed. I'm leaving it in 10 speed. I don't care. I don't know how much it's shifting. It's not doing it much because I've been watching the tack. But overall, it's not shifting all that much. And we're about ready to go down a grade here and then up a pretty steep, long hill. And we're going to see how it does holding and shifting and doing what it needs to do. And the reason why I'm going to leave it in 10 speed is because they don't tell you to take those out of those gears. And let's see if it works. Obviously, you could hold those gears in the Chevy and go down to low and minimize the top couple overdrives, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave it in there. I want to see how bad this thing works or how bad it doesn't. Again, according to my door strike, this truck can handle another several thousand pounds. So this should be, a good test of it for sure, because I don't think anybody, if you're getting up in the 20,000 pound range, yeah, you might want to start contemplating a diesel. And then I would also just make sure that, in the 20,000 pound range, you probably got washing machines in your trailers, or you full-time drive, and that's why a diesel might make more sense for you, but still not saying the gassers don't. All right, so we can see over here, part 3, we got a long downhill and we have a long uphill. So let's just see how the truck goes. We're using cruise control now. I'm not going to touch the brake unless it gets out of hand. So it's already geared down. Kept us right. It only dropped one gear and it kept us right at 65. I guarantee you, as steep as this hill is, which you can't even get the impression on the camera. If I was coasting, it would have got us up to 75 or 80. This trailer is heavy. All right, so going up this hill, I'm going to just zip it and let you watch the shift points and see if you can hear that engine noise, because this hill's going to put it to the test. Alright, so here we go. Got all in it right there, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you can see the tach was up around 5. It doesn't have a gear selector, if you will. Now I need to slow down a little bit because these curves are off camber and a little bit sharp. So I mean, it got all in it, but it kept this truck at 65 mile an hour. That was a 5% grade, just over a half a mile worth. And it kept it right at the 65. Now, would I normally be going up that hill at 65? Probably not. There's a lot of wildlife out here. But again, people want to know, can this thing do it? And then you're going to say, well, how many times can I do it? You only did it for 60 miles. Well, you know, time's going to be the test of that. But when, you know, GM and Ford came out with these big motors, they ranked them as commercial motors. They built cast iron blocks and they made them to work. Exhaust note wise, that wasn't bad. So you can see right here, there's another huge long pulling hill over there. We're gonna hit the cruise control back up here to 65 and just see how going down this next couple dips is gonna do engine braking wise, using the cruise control and the Allison only to slow it down. I will tell you that when you're not loaded and you accidentally leave it in tow haul mode, the shift points are definitely firm, if you will. But it's super quiet in here right now. I mean, you can't hear anything. But yeah, we're descending down. This is a pretty steep hill, and it's keeping us at basically 67. See what I have it set at, 65. Yep, so yeah, it's kept us right there. And obviously, if it was the diesel, you would probably have that extra torque there, so you'd be doing good. Probably wouldn't be as high ever in a diesel your RPMs, but ride quality is going to be the same, and the ride quality is excellent in the Chevy compared to the Ford. You can tell it rides better, and then with the trailer, it rides really smooth. I mean, these roads are pretty rough, but all in all, very happy with that. Now, just for grins on this hill, I'm going to back this off to 55, and I'm going to give it a fair chance to see if the progression is a little bit better with the gears and stuff. But yeah, so we're going to be going up pretty steep. There's a slight bend up and then into a curve. So again, this is pretty steep, so I mean, you can't even fathom, because you know, it's the plains, but yeah, we got some pretty good little hills and valleys. So this is pretty much going to wrap up this part, because this is, now we're going to get into just kind of some long cruising. So we'll get up here, and then we'll turn around, and we'll kind of talk about everything here in just a little bit, and then we'll head back. But you could see that, you know, just by giving your truck just a little bit of leeway, backing off that 65 is a tall order for anything to pull up a steep hill, especially pulling anything. Backing it off to 55, this thing didn't even get over 4K RPM. And it's going through its progression of gears just fine. Engine temp's fine. And you can see the trans temp is 172. So, I mean, it's not even skipping a beat. So, again, this is like the first 6 miles of this road was these hills and the winding and the going down. And it's kept it right there. I mean, literally right there. And on the way back, we might actually set the cruise to 35 going down one of those hills and see how it does. And then on one of the longer ones, I'll actually not use anything, and let's see how bad it coasts. You know, I think it'll pick up speed quite fast. So we have to give the trucks the same opportunity if they have anything over the other. So, all right, guys, hit the notification bell. Do subscribe so you can see all of the parts to this series. And we'll see you on the next one.